Hey, hey, hey. You know what time it is.
It's time for the Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast.
That's right. And I am your host, Delay Bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlem Brown. And Harlem Brown, what's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing?
Now I know I feel like I'm in my studious mode. I got my button up.
Oh,
I,
see,
I couldn't find no other stuff to wear today. You know what I
I,
mean?
I
And
see.
so yeah, so I feel like I'm, back in my old college days, or like I'm about to go golfing or something. You know what I mean? It's crazy, But just man, I love the podcast we had before. So we're gonna extend to that. So we're just gonna get right into it. And that's, heart to heart conversation about understanding change. This is part two of it. I know we talked about changing, um, people changing in relationships as individuals. And the
Mm-hmm.
first thing was if the things that they did change, how to go about embracing that change for that person, so that you don't, you know, get all crazy and think that it's the end of the world. And I
Right.
know we had an animated conversation when we started, but that's
Absolutely.
how it could go quickly. It could go from 0 to 100 in relationships, and we were just letting y'all know that this is how it can happen and how to prevent that, so you can have a great conversation about it, so that you can move on. So you want to add on to that before we move into the next segment of this?
And no, let's go ahead into the next segment.
No, because you was ready to take my head off last time, so I figured I'd
I really was
give you the
not trying
last
to take
words,
your head off.
before
I
we move
just
into the other one.
don't
I
do
said,
me
everybody
like
got that because I see the head going. I see I
don't do
see
me like that.
the hand
The
about to come out.
just one of those things when you give people an ultimatum. It's okay to say I'm changing. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to wait until we're about to walk out the door and dress to go to the club to say I don't want to go to the club anymore. Right? This is something that was a conversation. But what I'm saying is, if you like, well, I'm going whether you go or not. This is my thing. I'm still doing it. Just
Yeah,
don't be upset when the person be like, okay, then. Like, what conversation is there in that? That's just one of those things where you got to be like, all right. Well, like that's a decision that you decided to make. You're gonna do it with or without me. So it's not necessarily anything that was really of importance or a priority to you in the first place. So whether I'm there or not, you still having a good time. So
yeah,
like there's not a whole lot of conversation in that.
yeah. I get it. I get it. And like I said, change is probably one of the top five reasons why people um, break up. Um,
Yeah.
because although you're growing together, I know a lot of times they say we grew apart. I don't necessarily believe that you grow apart. I think I think it's more the person grew and you didn't want to grow with them, or you didn't want to accept their change and how they were going about things. Or I always look at it as that's another person's excuse to say they wanted to be out of it and wanted to be somewhere else as being in this in this relationship. So look, we having a heart to heart here. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Some of your partners may do that to you. They may
Because they don't want to.
bring
They don't
something on.
they looking for a reason. They looking for an out. So
Exactly.
if there's a change, then
Yeah.
that's my way out, right? Because I don't want to change. But if you're the person who's receiving that, I don't want to be together because of a change, then you ought to really look at the person that you with because apparently, I mean, change is inevitable. So we all
Yeah.
change and
We all
we
change.
all adjust to the
Yeah.
change and we
You
all
have to
are
adjust.
good with changes. But we're not when we're not good with changes is when it's inconsistencies in the change, when there's no conversations about the change, when there's just flat footed, this is my decision, do what you want type of changes. Like we can't have room for growth if we're not providing that safe space to have those conversations about growth.
Yeah. So just be careful of that. just understand that that is a possibility, and don't be mad at them. I mean, if they want to be out and that's how they want to go about it, that's just who they are, and you just have to accept them for who they are. But we want to stay on the top because we're gonna have a podcast about that too, because it is important to know that, when you go through change, people will just use that as an excuse. But I think the next thing we wanted to talk about is career changes, because a lot of times couples get together because of the potential of where they're going to be. So I could give us somebody be like, yeah, I'm in law school, and the other person might be in medical school, maybe in law school, or might be moving up the ladder to be a CEO. And now it's like, okay, yeah, we can work together and help each other reach this goal. But if I come back to you and say, nah, law school's not for me, I'm gonna do something else. The other person, because they were looking at that potential and looking at the status that a lawyer could bring to the relationship, now they're looking at you sideways saying, wait a minute, but this was our plan. How are you just gonna deviate from the plan? And I put a lot of time in helping you study, for this, these law classes and stuff. And now you to take the bar and you don't want to be a lawyer no more. What? Like, hold up, hold up. So how do we deal with that, Harlem Brown? How do we teach the audience to deal with that change? Because that's a drastic change, especially for the other person.
I think we have to look at whenever we have a change, we have to not be so self-absorbed in the change. Okay? That's the number one thing I would tell everybody. There is going to always be a change, but when you are so self-absorbed in your way things are supposed to be, you're not going to be able to embrace the change the way you need to embrace the change. The other thing I want to say is this: if I am engaged to somebody who's about to be a plastic surgeon and he comes to me and be like, I think I'm gonna go to clown school, I would look a little crazy for 5 seconds. But
Hey,
I need to know why are we going to clown school and what happened with the surgeon type of thing. But also understand this too, because I've seen a lot of people burn out quickly. And whether it's in the beginning of doing something because they got everybody riding them to stay on this path. Sometimes people are on a path, and I met a young lady one time, and wherever she is, I just pray that she is doing great. She was going to law school, she got the bar, she did everything she was supposed to do, and she had passed it. And I was with a friend of mine, and me and her was just hanging out one Saturday, and she was sitting by herself. And we was like, "Come over," and we was talking to her, and she was just like, "Yeah, I just passed the bar." And we was like, "Oh my God, like you should be excited." And she was like, "Yeah, I
yeah,
told my family and I told she told everybody that she was supposed to tell." But her sense of sitting by herself in that particular moment was that even though she went through all of the things that she was supposed to do and she did everything and she had all the things lined up, she really wasn't sure that's what she wanted to do, but she didn't have a anybody to talk to about that. So
yeah,
she is talking to me and my girlfriend who's sitting there, eating nachos and drinking margaritas, like, "Oh, girl, you can do it." And
yeah,
but we gave her the outlet to push all of that out. Where a lot of times when you so set in your way about what things are supposed to be, you don't give that person that safe space to say what they need to say. Wherever she is and whatever she had decided to do, I hope she's happy in it.
yeah,
But she has gone through all of the things, and that sometimes people do hit that plateau where they check off all the check boxes, and then they get to the top and they've checked it all off, and they like, now what? Like, is this really
yeah,
making me happy? Am I really doing what I'm supposed to do? I've
yeah,
accomplished a lot of stuff, but am I really where I want to be? So let your person have that opportunity to have the conversation. I'm not saying say, oh yeah, quit, go to clown school. We always need some extra clowns. I'm just saying let the person have a conversation. I know people who have quit jobs and was like, I'm starting my own business, and their spouse is like, if you do, I'm out. Like, I can't do that.
yeah.
We can't do that. We got too many bills.
Deal
I'm not
breaker.
making those sacrifices for you to
The deal
start
breaker.
something
Yeah,
different when we already have something in, like, established. So
But is
look
that
at,
right? Is that right? I mean,
is it,
I say this: the person has the right to do anything that they want to do. So I'm not going to say that it's right or wrong. I'm gonna just say the person has the right to feel the way that they want to feel. But
you
again,
do.
if we're talking marriage, we're talking to death do us part. We're talking to the change that a person says, okay, look, I'm going to chef school. I don't want to be a lawyer no more. And you're like, oh no. It's like the end all being no. You can't
Yeah.
even show me where this works. There's more money to go to school. We've already had this plan, and you're gonna come on the witch now to say, hey, you changing the plan on me. So I can get where the other person is upset about that. But how do we work through that through relationships to build that bridge so that the other person can feel what the other person is and get behind them? I know it's tough.
It's very hard, but you have to be able to give that person a safe space to talk. Let that person get out all of the things that they need to get out about this decision that they're thinking about making. It may be something that they thought about for a minute, but they never thought that they had a safe space to talk about it, or room to even say, this is what I like and this is what I really like. Because maybe when we first met and I was in law school and you was in law school, we was just like, we kindred spirits because this is what we do, right?
Right.
It is what we do and we do good at it. And there's a lot of great in it, but I'm starting to feel like I don't know if I really want to do this. But I don't even have a safe space to have that conversation. So I can't tell you. I definitely can't tell my parents because they're not going to try to hear that. But it's a lot of times where sometimes you could be in a conversation with somebody you're in a relationship with and just start talking about something crazy and just be like, what if so and so and so and so, and then you go on this tangent about how this could work, right? Even though your partner's like, if you don't like, we're
Yeah. I
not
mean,
doing that.
you think about it. You work so hard to do all this other stuff. You pay so much money. You back that person, and then they decide they want to go to a turn left on you. That hurts.
It hurts.
That hurts. So how do we not say that's the stupidest thing I've heard to your partner? Or you got to be kidding me.
I
You
think
you you
that's
you
I
joking
think
with me
that's
right now. Let me
I
check the
think that's
calendar.
the
Is it
part.
April Fool's? Let me because it's. I don't think it's so much the change. I think it's you have the audacity that we had this plan and you're deviating from the plan to do something that's coming from left field that financially is not lucrative for nobody, not even
Right.
yourself. It's like you can't even with where you talk about going, it may take you 10, 20 years to just get back even. And that you setting us back a while. So you basically telling me I got to carry the family until you decide what you want to make this career change. How does that work, Harlan Brown? How does the audience get to
Say
understand this?
it's not it's trust me. The understanding is something that's going to take some time. But what I'm saying is listen to the person. Let the person speak. Let the person
How do I not strangle them first and then
be,
slap them upside the head a couple of times and
you
get
don't
yourself
strangle
together? Yeah, like
don't
how do you
strangle
not do
those
that?
who you
Because
love.
you're turning you're not just turning your world upside down. You're not even paying attention that you're turning my world upside down.
That's what I'm saying. Listen to the let the person talk. Let them talk.
There's nothing you can say.
But you have
Doesn't
listen
make
to them.
sense. Doesn't make sense, yo. Sorry, it doesn't make sense.
Okay. It makes sense
So what
to
do you
the
want me to
person.
listen to? You
It
want me to
makes sense
yes.
to the person.
So basically
Listen,
you telling me to do this. You telling me listen and then be like, that's the dumbest thing you said anyway. I listen to you. Now, get back in law school, get back and go to that six-figure job, or I'm out. I'm not doing this.
okay.
How
And
do
that's
you
your choice. And that's your choice. That is your choice. Listen, if you're going to tell me you dropping out of school to go to clown school, I need to understand why you thought clown school was a good idea. And how do you think the clown school is going to support us during this time? And what do you want to do? What you want to get a part-time job at Ringling Brothers while you're doing this?
No,
Like all of these
no.
conversations need to happen because
I'm gonna give you the what they talk about now. What we get. I'm living in my truth.
okay, I'm gonna tell
I'm
you about
living in my truth.
when you live in your truth. When you live
I'm
in
living in
your
my
truth,
truth.
that
Right?
is your truth.
But
But
this is real
you're not thinking about the fact that you're with
because
someone
it's
else
my
right now.
truth. I feel so comfortable. I feel inevitable to make this change to do what I need because it's my truth. It's what I'm supposed to
Okay.
be doing in life.
Because that's your calling.
Hard. That's
That's
a
your calling.
hard pill to swallow, isn't it?
Yeah. Mm.
Think about how many of these couples out here have to deal with someone who's decided to live in their truth and put a big time imbalance in relationships. Think about it.
That's a lot of
So
it's a lot of it's a
listen,
lot of people
I
who
gotta
don't
bring the scripture
express
back.
it.
Let me bring the scripture back. Isaiah 43:19. We started with
Mhm.
this, we're gonna stay with this.
Okay.
Can you read that for the audience again?
See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?
Right. Like you got to see that I am doing a new thing and I'm springing it on you. Do you not perceive it? I need you to perceive it with me.
I need you to
I need
understand
you to
and
know
hear
that.
me.
I need you to
And
understand that.
I need you to communicate with me. And it's okay that you may think it's crazy, but I need to be able to say it. You need to give me whatever your rebuttal is. Because come on, you know these conversations is not one-sided. Like I'm going to clown school
Exactly.
left thing. No, you're not going to
Right.
clown school. You need to understand what happens. What is the results of clown school? So this is not a one-sided thing. I'm not saying sit back and be like, ooh, okay. I am saying let this person go ahead, tell you what the plan is. What exactly do you, way your brain is thinking right now?
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need you to think a little bit more logically, not that yours is illogical, but what we have established and what we have planned, and how do you perceive us going forward with this new change that you have, and
Right.
help me to understand why you think why this is a good idea. That's all
But
I'm
even
saying.
but even when you do all of that, right? Here's what you don't want to do as a couple. If you decide to stay and if you decide to back your mate, back your partner, your significant other, your husband, your wife, do it with your heart. Don't half do it because you be like, yeah, I'm with you. And then the first sign that it doesn't work, see, I told you. Now we behind in our mortgage. Now we this, because that is doesn't bode well for anybody. So if you're going to
Don't
back
do
that person,
anything begrudgingly. Do not
yes,
do anything begrudgingly. If
yes,
you don't want to do it,
just don't do it.
stop. Don't
Right.
do it.
And that's
Because
for anything. But for this, as far as change is concerned, because this is real. This is
yeah,
what people are doing now. This is the conversations that we've been having out in the streets and everything. And people are saying they're changing careers. They don't want to be in a CEO no more. They don't want to be part of the corporate world. So they're gonna either start their new business or they always wanted to be a singer or they wanted to be a comedian. They want to go out and do that. And again, that line, I want to live in my truth. I want to speak in my truth. That is real. So you have to be very careful when it comes to your doorstep on how you handle it. And if you read
absolutely.
Isaiah 43 and 19, this goes to show you that people will change and can change on you. And do you actually really see that they are doing a new thing because it was sprung up on you? Do you really perceive what they are doing, what they want to do, and the potential that they can have for making that change for themselves so that they can be happy, living their truth, and whatever other words and things that they have to to
Right.
to to qualify of them making these changes.
I think it's very important. I think it's very important that we understand that about people and understand that everybody's an individual, man. They got their own thing. Like
Yeah,
something you don't know what triggered anybody to get where they are, where they're just like, I'm fed up with this thing. I want to do something that's meaningful. A lot of stuff that I hear right now, especially with people in careers and going in different directions, is that they're burned out and they want to do something that means something. They want to know when they put their head down that they actually done something that made a difference. And if your
Big-
person is trying to do that, whether it is, and I'm gonna say this because I've seen it so many times where people have split up because of entrepreneurship,
yes,
because of wanting to start nonprofits and stuff like that because they wanted to be their true purpose for them that they felt was
right,
to serve and to do something on a
yeah,
bigger scale, and they used what they had in order to create that.
yeah,
And the person that they happened to be with was used to having a more comfortable life and not necessarily having to look for anything. And begrudgingly, yes, yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to go with him. He my husband. Yeah, these kids, we're gonna do what we gotta do.
yeah,
But how much more successful, and this person ended up being very successful in it, but how much how much less stress could that person be under, or how much could they have been more been pushed to do even more if they didn't have somebody who was like checking over them every check and balance. And see, we done lost $30 this month. Like I could have, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
need to get my hair
yeah,
done. You playing
yeah.
games. Like what do we do? Like
Yeah. But
so
I'm gonna say everybody's leap of faith is not equal to what another person believes it should be.
exactly,
But
because that's your
and
call.
and I think what we forgot in the last podcast to talk about is you definitely have to pray about it. You
Oh,
definitely
absolutely.
have to pray about it as a couple. You have to pray about it as
Absolutely.
an individual. You have to pray about it as just pray, because if you don't have that behind you, if you don't have that wherefore to be able to convey and to show someone else. And this is where that trying will keep you in your same place, but
Absolutely.
when you actually do something. So when that person is actually walking in their truth and taking that leap of faith, you have to see it all the way through. And again, eliminate the negativity, be positive with that person. And I'm gonna say this, and I know it's hard for somebody to even take this in. Enjoy the journey, even if you think it for yourself it was a failure. The failure to me is that you didn't take the leap of faith and you
That's all I
didn't
have to say.
didn't do it, as opposed to you took the leap of faith and you failed.
That's what that's it. That's it in a nutshell.
To
Because
me,
if I don't try this, if this is my calling and I don't try this because you don't want me to do it and you scared that it's not gonna work,
well, you're not gonna
I'm
try
gonna
to do it anyway. You're gonna do it.
forever, right. I'm gonna
You're gonna
forever in the
do it.
back of my head wonder
Yes,
what
yes.
would have happened if I did.
That's the
Okay,
tragedy.
perfect example. Let's do a perfect example. Miss
Okay.
Michelle Obama, who constantly says she did not want Barack to be a president. She
Right.
like if you listen to her or read any of her books, that was a staple in her, right? I don't want that. I don't want to be public. I
Yeah.
don't want none of it, right? But then she had to say to herself, who am I to stop this man from running for president? Who am I to say he can't do this, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to stand by him no matter what. Oh, he going to know that, this is not what I wanted for me and my kids. But what if she was that person who doubled down and was like, yep, you do it, I'm out. Like, what would have happened? You
Yes.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't
Right.
ever crush somebody's dreams just because you can't see their vision. How about sit with them and try to see their vision, pray with them and try to understand their vision. Don't People have big dreams, people have big things that they have in their head that they can put together and they can talk it off a roof. But if you sit there and you shut it down every step of the way, you're just making it difficult for them, and you're
Yeah.
making them second guess themselves. And don't do that, because I've seen people be super successful
Super
on some
sexual.
ideas that
Yes.
people were like, "Are you
Yes.
kidding me?" They,
And
they
I'm gonna say
become
this,
incredibly successful.
even if you don't, yeah, even if you don't see the results in that way, the fact that y'all did it together, the fact that you stood by that person and saw their dreams through, and they did vice versa for you, you won. There is no failure in that because you took the leap of faith. You you enjoyed the journey, and wherever it took you, believe me, it's going to put you in a better place
Absolutely.
if you didn't do it at all. And a
It's
lot of
going to
people
give
get
you
stuck. They get stuck in that. I'm going to try to do it, and again, as I say all the time, trying will keep you in the same place. And I know our time is up, so I got to
oh
get
yeah,
there. Any last words? Because we way over.
we got
Any
way
last
over.
words?
But no, I'm so like, what you're saying is awesome, and I think seriously, don't douse nobody's dreams. Don't
Yeah,
hinder anybody from doing something. If God called them to do it, then let them do it. And trust me, if you're with that person, you need to pray on it too, because God may be having you on that journey with them for a
right.
reason. Because there's some
And
things that you
you're
can
gonna reap
add.
good benefits. And
Right.
even if, because you're not even looking at it from this perspective, even if it doesn't go the way that that other person wants it to go, the fact that you went on a journey gives other different opportunities out there. See, a lot of
Absolutely.
people don't realize that.
Nope.
A lot of people don't realize that a lot of people who became millionaires and stuff failed so many different times, and
Absolutely.
just on one, like, okay, I wasn't even thinking about this, oh wow, and made it a fortune from it. They,
Ugh.
because it was, somebody else dumped it to the side, and they're like, oh well, oh, I'll take this. And so you never know what can happen from it. So I know we went
Yeah,
way,
we
I know
over.
we went
Yeah,
way over, but
yeah,
you know, when we have great conversations like this, when we have great heart to hearts like this, we like to make sure that the audience understands and knows that we're doing this to uplift them, uplift y'all, and uplift the kingdom. So
yes.
as I always say in the podcast, trying to do something will keep you in the same place. But when you actually do something, your place has no limitations. I am your host, Elaine Bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlem Brown. And we'll see you next
See you
week.
next week.
Yo.